Hello, this is Jared playing Oxygen Not Included, and today I've got a goal of setting up a base with a very large number of bionic dupes. I'm going to be doing that in a spaced out prehistoric asteroid here. This asteroid is geoactive, metal rich, and has volcanic activity, hoping that's going to work out well for me. Also going to be making certain the Printoceptors there, because I want to be able to leverage that new story trait. Alright, let's get going. Here are my first three bionic dupes, already planning their specialties. We're going to have rock on digging, hammer on construction, beaker on research, only bringing in boosters that are complex, and figuring cuisine agriculture won't be needed early on with regular dupes. Name of the colony is Printonics. Let's do this thing. So first thing I'm going to do is a little bit of digging, getting lots of metal. And this will give me a little bit of visual on where I want to put in the first few buildings. So with the area dug out, making a plan, I want to get some research stations underneath some dirt. So we're going to go up and let that fall down. Essentially, dirt goes into the research station, so it sounds like be a good plan. A crafting station so we can make some batteries and get some boosters and early access to the COTS, just so that we'd be able to do microchip production to get some early boosters. And now we're in the business of making some microchips. So now we've got a little laboratory over here. Let's actually double check it is. With a little access to dirt. Eventually we're going to dig this down, but for now I want to make sure I get an area dug out for a little laboratory, or sorry, a washroom, so we can worry about gunk extraction. First research project has been complete, so we're going to set up a gunk extractor and put that right there so that we don't have gunk expelled all over the base. So now our gunk extractor is ready. We're just going to upgrade this room to a washroom. Dig out this little area here so that dirt falls close to the research stations. We'll get a ladder up and down so we can explore a little bit more. And the dupes are taking their first break. And I'm only taking bionic dupes, so it depends. Do you have any bionic options? You do not, so we'll take the roadbush seed instead. It's another extended microchip production. We're going to produce construction, digging, researching, so we can really focus on the intended skills of each of these guys. So we've got all the dirt sitting right next to this research stations. Actually, before we build that one, we dig out that and raise that up. But it is time to work on oxygen. So I want to make sure these guys can breathe. So we're going to put an electrolyzer right down here and our liquid pump right in that little bit of water. And we've got water into our electrolyzer. So what I'm thinking now is I want to use this as a supercomputer room or laboratory. So we're going to move this equipment down here, but we're going to upgrade to smart jumbo batteries before we do that. So the dirt in this area actually getting a little bit low. So we'll start off digging this little area and expand both up and down. And we finally have a bionic dupe as an option. So we're calling this Spark. Change their color since we have the same type. And then there were 4. So dupes waking up from their break. And what I'm thinking of doing is concentrating on the top part of this. But I might not worry about the full hydrogen generator because we've got lots of peat around that we could use for power. So we'll start opening up this space down here. And it did not take long, cycle 7, I realized that we've got an electrical booster that was deleted on me. I was going to give that to Spark. Hammer took that off so that they could get 2 construction boosters. So we'll have to figure that out. So we're going to be putting in lights with automation. So that'll need some power. And we'll have some light for our beaker there to work in our research. So now we've got some automated lights all around. next thing I'm going to do is get an apothecary so that we can make gear bomb. Currently just 1 unit left for these guys to share. So the next dupe that we're getting is muscles. So they're going to concentrate on moving stuff around. I don't know if we've got to, oh yeah, let's give a little bit of a strength booster or 2 for them. At least refresh some gear bomb until we get their apothecary setup. And then we get an apothecary, so we'll start making gear bomb forever. I'm going to put some wider storage here because that's the input along with gunk. Now that we can make some gear bomb, next goal is to get some power production. We're going to start with hydrogen generators, but we'll start burning peat as well. What's this? That's an electrical engineering booster. Why did that, first of all? Oh, now it shows up as that. Okay, awesome. So we didn't lose it. It was just hidden for a certain amount of time. Spark, you take that then. And don't lose it. And smart battery going in here. We're not going to collect a little bit of bisylite. And that's going to allow us to make some eco power banks. So I've got a hydrogen generator both tuned up and connected to a smart battery. Just going to let these guys drain out, send the rest of the power for the base through the transformer. So now we're extending our power bank charger system over here, as well as extending the peat burners and heavy watt wire line along this way, and maybe get a few more of those eco power banks. So we are now out of metal power banks. Maybe if this is another bionic. Oh, it is. Am I ready for another one? Would like the power banks just in case, actually. So now we're bringing in Pebble. And working on a fire pole. Not sure what's happening here, but we've got our heavy watt wire line. We've got a transformer. But that transformer is not giving anything over here. There's a normal wire there. But there's 0 power. Just realizing that the reason no power is going through the transformer is because we're not generating enough power, or it's being consumed by these guys up here. So we're going to put in temporarily, hopefully, some manual generators and try to extend our peat burner system. We're going to go discover our first geyser right here. And hydrogen vent. Okay, a little bit of heat, but also power potential. So just reconnecting this line as we get in a little bit of oxygen, but with the automation, that shouldn't happen again. We're going to put in a very similar setup over here so that we can open up this hydrogen, which is just waiting to come out. Only realized we were just shy of 1 tile, with that being a laboratory. We're definitely going to want to open that up. There we go. And then we started digging out the hydrogen vent. So now that we've got the hydrogen vent tree free, and we're able to scoop in a little bit of hydrogen from that system, we're going to build a pump up here just to make sure we always have water for producing oxygen. Speaking of which, looking good to electrolyzers at the moment. And digging a path towards the Printoceptor. Try to activate that. So we'll have access to the Printoceptor, though we need to have a code to unlock it. So we'll need to keep looking around. But I think for now, I think the priority is to try to block this guy off so we don't get excessive amount of heat around the base, because we're probably going to be producing a good amount of heat in our power plant. We don't need the heat from here. So we're going to expand up in this way, limiting the amount of hydrogen. And we're going to go down this direction, trying to limit the amount of liquid. So a little bit of obstacles in both up and down at the moment. And all dupes up here to making power banks. We need to expand our power production, or at least dupes need to put peat in. Auto sweeper, I can see, is going to be essential here. So expanding our power plant yet again. I'm going to stop at 6 bionics for a little bit, and I'm concerned about over here. So we're just going to insulate that little piece of tiles. I've just unlocked a steam vent. That is future power and water, but we're not ready for that. But it's nice it's there, actually. So this is a bit of a scalding thing. Hurry, build, build, build. Okay, good. We've got that taken care of. So lots of carbon dioxide as we go down, and trying to deal with the hydrogen as we go up. Making our way down, and we may have found the near end of the asteroid. This is where we can take in some power from hot temperatures down here in the future. First pump that we built has run out. So I've discovered a Saturn critter trap next to a beta hive, and now I'm making the priority of getting the hydrogen pump up here. Let's check how the hydrogen level is doing. It is good, 35 degrees, so not too hot at the moment. We'll also start exploring either directions up here. Notice with the first dupe that has taken a little bit of damage, we're not risking going without some triage cots, so we'll put these in. Seeing lots of slipping happening on this ice, so before we go over, we're going to make a little bridge to get across without slipping. And slowly making our way down, having this area opened up for some hydrogen collection down here. Okay, just a little early start on this, wasn't expected. Let's cut the power for that for now, but cut that right there. So going up here, I found a little hot spot. That'll probably leak over time. Oh, so there's another one. This little zone, we'll deal with that too. And we're getting our first auto sweeper built. So this is going to allow me to have automate process of salt. Whoops. Just peat. Sending peat into these peat burners. So exploring up, trying to avoid the cold world. Mostly because I'm worried about... Oh, that's actually space. Okay, we're near the top. Mostly worried about ice melting down and getting a bionic dupe stressed. But what I'll take a brief little time doing now is just optimize getting across like this with some shale tilings going across. So starting digging in this direction and getting a great hull set up to up morale. But also the dupes tend to like eating over here, and it just makes a long path between the eco power banks and having to restore those. So I think this will be a little more efficient. And I found something interesting. There's a toilet and a geyser as well. So going over here was definitely useful. Opening up this area just so that we get hydrogen flowing the right direction. Maybe we'll do this too to help. So cycle 29, I've got a bunch of paths out all around with different goals. Primary one is, I believe, down here to get to the teleportation equipment. But I see there is the neural vacillator. We've got the toilet and a geyser. Specifically, I want to make sure, double check that I have this right, but I think I've got a polluted water vent. Yeah, very much hoping to find that soon. So, found the polluted water vent. So at least we've got new liquid being added to the world. And if this is bionic, I may consider taking it. It is not. So I was going down this direction and I thought that was the teleportation equipment, but it turns out it's over here. Giving rock an upgrade. Positive outlook on life. So opening up this area for a little bit of a shearing station. We're going to go try to target some of these Rexes. Alright, rock, what geyser exists over here? Oh, a gold volcano. Can't run. That's going to get very hot, but actually, if that produces a little bit of gold for us, that could actually be very useful. So now I've got a plan to wrangle a few of these guys. One of the dupes that has the critter ranching skill right now. And carefully going to go up here. I want to try to avoid brine from leaking down, so building a little catch down here to deal with leaked brine that might hit the floor. Did not take long to start accumulating a little bit of brine down here. And we've unlocked the portal after 32 cycles. You can see that a giant Demolier is heading our way. We'll have to figure out a way to deal with this. It's going to be 168 cycles, so we've got a little bit of time to plan. But if it does strike, we're going to lose 2 volcanoes. So, wanting to get some exosuit forges made. Yeah, because we've got some shearing. Now that we were done with these guys, maybe we'll put you guys down here. So, first indication that we're creating a little bit of too much heat. Doesn't look bad here, but this plant not happy with the temperature. It's above 40. And we've got our first Atmo suit, or where is it? Can I select it? There we go. Figurine rock dupe, that's going to do a lot of the digging. Makes the most sense to be wearing that first. So now I've got an area here for just rock to be able to access, so they can go through liquids without carrying. And we're going to open up this polluted water vent in the process. And we're doing some unclogging, hoping to find something in the process. Pebble has found a passcode. Awesome. So another Saturn critter trap. I'm going to make sure that we enable harvest. Make a hydrogen pump over on this side. And over here, carbon dioxide vent. Probably don't need that just yet. And we found some dupes that are stuck because they decided to go rest in a really awkward place. Somebody open this. Actually, I think the other thing is we need to take that out more than anything else. Was that hammer? Let's just fix this. Ooh, and hammer is safe. So I'm going to put this back in, but I'm going to watch whoever installs this. So we'll get an insulated door right here, and one over here to replace this guy. So now we're giving rock skill scrubbing because I'm preparing them for a teleportation mission. So the last Atmo suit is given out to Spark, so now everyone has Atmo suits. I guess no special control access needed. Actually, we might get new dupes. Never mind. Let's just allow everyone in. And keep that around for now. And we're opening up the hydrogen down here. Get the automation set up so I can set power on that. So we've got our teleportation equipment activated on... Oh, no, we don't. Sorry. Don't even have a path available, but we will. So we'll inspect that. And bring in some power over to this guy and validate. Oh, he's also not activated. Now, why is that? Tubes can reach there. Okay, I'll have to look into that. Just notice that was set to priority 4. So that would explain that. So next dupe we're getting here, Tails. They'll be working towards ranching. So we'll switch over that booster. And building a material study terminal. Just make sure you're pointing the right way. Alright, Rock. Let's explore this other asteroid. It looks pretty dark. What's wrong? Oh, hello. Let me just try to contact Rock. There we go. So our first goal is essentially to make a manual generator and a little crafting station. Because right now, this dupe doesn't have any batteries. So now, Rock making their battery over on this asteroid to be able to survive another cycle or so. So the next goal is to get a little bit of metal and build a gunk extractor. So now Rock trying to get a gunk extractor and a storage area for gunk. So from gunk extractor to building a cot. Some microchip production for Rock. And over on the other asteroid, getting a plan to get to the top. And for the first time, I'm going to intercept the printing pod. So Rock can give us an apothecary over here. The dupes here looking to get a nature reserve. We've got to set this up for hydrogen. Getting nervous. Rock is low on gunk, 28. But that is the next thing I'm trying to do. I'm also regretting making an extra digging. I should have made that the advanced booster. We'll see how far they can get. I am pretty certain Rock is going to run out of gear oil. That will slow them down, though. But there's the medical booster, so nothing else that much is done. Okay, so whoops, one more pipe, and we'll have this setup running, finally. Whoops. Yeah, we have this, we would have this running if it weren't for the fact that we don't have sand, but we can get sand over here and get these guys non-confined at the same time. Should look quickly to see what geysers are potentially going to be, or what's available. No, another hydrogen vent. That's good for power. Though I might be okay. Liquid and, okay, nothing, hydrogen's nice, but so painful to watch when we run out of oil. And finally, after watching the slowest dupe ever, we've got the production of gear bomb. Oh, they on their break. Well, you know what? Let's get right to this. And we reached our meteor blaster. Start loading this guy. That's going to send some missiles towards Demolier. 151 cycles until impact. So looking at my options that I'm getting from the Printiciceptor, tempted by Pip, but I might get the hatch egg with the idea of getting a little bit of coal in case we need it. And trying to open this up for a little bit of cool down because our power plant area pretty warm. I don't know how well this is going to work. I think that'll help to some degree. Oh, and there was impact on Demolier. Just going to start the steam turbine research just in case we're in need of cooling, which actually we will at some point, so it's good to start that. So my goal now that I've got the ability to deal with gunk, make my own batteries, is to get access to this guy. We'll bring over the dupe that can analyze this, and then I can send my ever-increasing set of eco power banks from here over to help that dupe. So yeah, there we go. Connecting in some water. Ora Grove node. It's going to be part of stable over here. And we planted our first Ora Grove node. And here's Beaker. We're going to start to enable both the teleportation equipment, this one, plus this guy down here. And about to send over the first eco power banks from this asteroid over to here. And of course some mesh tiling just to prevent that from sitting on liquid. So we're looking to keep Rock busy for the next little bit. They're going to create a Great Hall, nature reserve, and put in a fire pole. So there is our oil refinery plan with a insulated line coming up from the teleportation equipment. Awesome. So now that I've got a Great Hall and a nature reserve, let's get a little path down this way. Maybe make it a little more direct with a fire pole, and we'll get digging. So just a little bit of path optimization before we start digging. What is actually really nice about this is that once I start wanting to send fossil and lead back, which actually won't be that long, the conveyor loader to do it is really close. That is handy. My thinking over here is if I put some lums in this, or these stables, they would produce peat. I've got lots of peat, but if it ever ran out, I might be in trouble. It takes a while to set these up, so that's why we're putting Ora Grove nodes now. And then with both hammer and rock, we've started in the oily asteroid, or oily biome. So carbon dioxide's pretty bad on this base, so we're going to build a carbon dioxide pump and other gases, basically not oxygen down there. So we are going to grab a pip egg for our second print, the Printiciceptor. So here's my plan for storing some gas. We're getting a lot more chlorine than I had thought. Forgot. That's probably from the dartles. A little bit of refined carbon production with peat going on. And we've got crude oil on the move. Next goal on this asteroid is just making sure a few of these Sweetles are not crowded. Go check over on this asteroid. Has that crude oil? It has. It's made it from here. hasn't made it into its storage area yet, so let's just do this. It's now over in this base, sending polluted water. And I'm going to start consuming that at priority. And getting dangerously low on our pumps. Oh, just realized that I had to reconnect that. Now the automation is there, but we've got the process of petroleum being produced on this asteroid. So now the goal is to set up an oxygen system here. Have that sent to the teleporter. And then received by these guys. So yeah, hydrogen line is down. This guy is out. But we have hydrogen here, but we haven't been able to produce enough power to get the pumps to go, so we're in trouble. But I think we can just expand our number of peat power plants. Okay, so we've just extended the peat burners. But what I did to actually get this kicked off is get a manual generator. Hopefully, yeah, there we go. It's at least allowing some of the hydrogen to flow. So I was thinking of taking another bionic tube, but we're going to have to produce more power before I feel comfortable doing that. So this is day 2 of the Printonics, and I've realized something in the last day. The reason I was having power problems was because I was front loading in too many eco power banks, or the empty version of those. I've got 42 at the moment. 60 have gotten charged, but that's where all my power has been used. It's not necessarily keeping the dupes I have alive now, but just loading in too many empty eco power banks. What I'm going to do starting off with this is do that. And I think I am probably in a situation where I probably could afford another bionic dupe. So what we're going to start off with today is digging out this area. We're going to do metal cooling. Over on this asteroid, we're going to get a power system so these guys can be power sufficient. And I'm going to start off sending some gold. Since I've got a gold volcano here, we'll use that for some of the construction that requires metal on the smaller asteroid. So here's my oxygen system rolling. We're going to be getting oxygen over to that asteroid, everything else going down here. A lot of noxious gases. Might want to make some electrolyzers to push that down. Let's go over check on this asteroid. I've now that I've got gold, and I want gold just for the temperature protection. Right now it's nice and cool, but it won't necessarily stay that way. But we'll have our smart battery and power bank chargers. The nice thing about this is I won't have to worry about forgetting the stoop, having them die because they don't have enough power. And just because I'm worried about all these gases, I'm just putting in some electrolyzers to help up the pressure down here, because it's a little bit low in this zone, making that pump not as effective. Now in the process of sending peat over. I'll have that ready once these power plants are set up to go. So this is where I plan to do my metal cooling. So I've got this area cleared out, starting with some insulation. And I realize I probably will need some steel to actually build this. As well as I want to stop using the rock crusher for producing metal. So we've got a metal refinery here. I think I'm just going to connect with some water down here to get that to operate. Over on this asteroid. Okay, good. We even have our peat. We just need a mech eng skill to kind of fully complete this. But I think at this point, we can tell the dupes to get rid of that. And with that, we will connect this to there. And we are we're doing two things. No longer having a manual generator. And we don't have to send eco power banks back and forth. In fact, before I forget, let me stop sending the empties. Well, just like that. I forgot that they would be taking their power banks off because this place is so messy. We should, and the other dupe doesn't have a table to eat at. Let's do this at high priority. Otherwise, we'll just be wasting batteries, which would be sad. So, have they taken away the fact that the batteries give immense heat when they're wet? If so, I'm lucky. So these guys now getting an in and out line on our metal refinery. Just have to restore that. We'll start collecting some iron ore. Lime, not slime. Well, we have not produced any yet. We'll go to the rock crusher and ask for some of that. These dupes looking for some iron over here. Maybe I should add that to something to be returning. So this pump all dried up. This pump nearly dried up. And we'll make a priority of getting this pipe going. Oh, a little bit of a spill. Okay, so with that, let's now go and mop some of this up. So yeah, I think we're going to take a little break and insulate down here, just that we have nice and cool temperatures. Don't want that to leak up here. So we'll add in a little bit of insulation. Also, when I dig into that hydrogen vent, which I don't plan to do right yet, that would also add a lot of heat. Over on this asteroid, we have this little area here for keeping these guys in to produce a little bit of power. Relocate them here, and if I don't want them to use up the metal, I better remove that from the room. A bit of analysis, mostly so that we can get data bank access for the Printoceptor. So now that this has been insulated, let's go back here, dupes, and complete this construction so we can run our metal refinery. And we are set up with a metal refinery, so making some, actually we don't need as much iron than I thought, because we're transporting some over from the other world. We can just go directly to steel. That is going to have a heating aspect being dropped off over here, though. Kind of lucky that this is built in a cool area, so that'll help. And I get a little warning here. Let's say if this ever gets below, actually, yeah, 500, that's fine. Let's put water low. And we'll have to deal with that at that point, which probably won't be that long. We are getting a great amount of heat. I think that is largely the steel that's sitting there. So maybe we should have had this sitting on some mesh tiling so the liquid gets out of there. Thank goodness that everyone's wearing Atmo suits that are in this zone. We'll see if this helps. Okay, I had a connection here. I think what was actually happening, hot liquid was going out and keep going back into the set system and then bursting. Okay, not what I wanted. This looks better. So figuring while we're taking a little time to make some iron, or steel rather, we'll set up this stable. So I see my peat getting a little bit lower. I know 5 tons of it went over to this asteroid. In fact, I should also be keeping track of that. But we'll get back in, or we'll get into the business of producing our own peat. I'll start sending some lums into this area. And I only found 1 lum egg, meaning that I want to try to preserve my wild lums. So this guy here will be the first lum to go in the stable. Now that we've got that stable, taking another side project to make a little bit of petroleum. That's actually, or rather plastic. That's something I'm going to need for the metal cooling system, so it kind of needs to be done first anyways. That's going to be done in a cooler area, not too far, where I have a bunch of petroleum ready to go. So yeah, quite shocked that this little asteroid went through 5 tons of peat in a small amount of time. But they have. And for now, we'll put in manual generator, and I probably find an alternate source of power. We're getting a little bit of power from these guys, but it's not making up for it. So here is the plan to get this polymer press, or a little bit of plastic, not too much, but just enough to get us started with some cooling with steam turbines. So yeah, sadly getting these turned off. And we're going to go back to the idea of sending back empties. And just be very careful that I don't forget to send them more until I find an alternate source of power to support that asteroid. So yeah, I think that makes sense, connecting the carbon dioxide into the storage here, rather than just forcing the pump to pick it up, essentially wasting power. And we have run out of iron, so now making a priority of picking up iron for a little bit, sending that to the other asteroid. So yeah, it's going to be very useful to have this PEP. I just want to make sure they're safe, so we're going to have a specialized room for them in here. Wonder, maybe we'll do the same thing with the hatch. Bring them up here. So now that we've collected enough iron to make the steel, at least I think we've got enough, putting in an electrolyzer and a hydrogen pump. And eventually that means we'll maybe upgrade to a hydrogen generator over on this asteroid, which would be quite nice, because we don't want to see the dupe on the manual generator too much. Just checking on our lum. Oh, currently tame. Weird, they're glum. Maybe the I guess tails just had to go on break or something before they can actually fully complete that, but I think that'll work out eventually. I was wondering why supplying was not going so well. I've got this dupe muscles, very strong. They've got the medical booster. They used to have ranching. The real problem here is, might as well not do that, but yeah, let's get them to focus on supply. Maybe I'll find someone else to do doctoring too. So at this point, I've got 2 tons of steel, and we are about to make the first few pieces of plastic. So I can start designing our cooling system for our metal refinery. So with plastic production going, I'm going to fill this in so it becomes a vacuum eventually, and insulate all around it. So we're doing a double liquid airlock. Fill this up with petroleum and probably water on the left. So preparing to make this a power plant, we'll need to get our electrical engineering booster over and connect this with some hydrogen that's going to eventually accumulate from here. And now that we're producing our own oxygen, I might stop sending in oxygen and convert this to a hydrogen line. I guess the only question is, oh, we're getting that guy active. Yeah, I mean, maybe. First, a little bit of water coming in here. I want to make sure I've got a healthy amount above 200 so I don't accidentally sweep and lose my vacuum here in the future. Not sure what to do about this situation. I think I've encountered this before. Beaker is just trying to pick up a piece of gunk that is just too small. So this is my attempt to try to fix this. We're going to look at liquid pressure right here. If it's high enough, I just want to make sure that this doesn't put us in a situation such that we run out of gear bomb. And then we've got petroleum making its way in here. Alright, so with that nearly filled up, I'm going to choose, so I'm thinking this is more for a later thing. But an acorn, let me just double check. I'm pretty certain I don't have an acorn. Yeah, that is for a food source for the pip. Awesome. A little bit of a struggle to avoid water and petroleum meeting each other, but I think we're settled. Going into this zone to create a vacuum. I think we are celebrating cycle 100, but very low water supply. So what I'm going to do, in slower time we can build a pump down here. A little bit lower than this guy, but for now, water sieve right here. We'll have that go up and around. We'll take this down here. So priority of using the polluted water from the apothecary, just so that we don't get too much polluted oxygen everywhere. But we have made it to cycle 100. So now we're taking the water from here, sending it in from priority over this guy. Actually, it should be the other way around. To that. And then getting that to converge down here and feed in water. So now we've got water that we're going to be taking in from here, eventually way down here. But that comes with a polluted water event. After waiting many prints, the game has finally given me an option for another bionic tube, so we can go up to 8. We're bringing in mallet. What's going on here? Didn't let me select. Okay, there we go. All right, mallet, let's print you. Nice. Just forgot, I've got this Atmo suit I made earlier for the next dupe mallet. You should be grabbing that. Just about to connect this line here. A few more gold pieces, and we'll have our metal refinery, our new metal refinery, operating. Just seeing if this all works out correctly. So that is actually going in like this. No, wait a minute. That's supposed to be there. And that's supposed to be down like that. Other than that, though, I think we are set with our metal refinery set up. Oh, except for I need water in there. Otherwise, we'll never get steam. Yeah. No, if the maximum temperature of a tree is 40, let's not put that right there. We'll change that out. Put our little acorns somewhere else, along with the pip. So deciding to put this area as our pip stable, with some trees a little bit cooler, right in this central area. Didn't want to put that in front of these guys, but leaving a ladder so we can get up and down. That way, if I have some egg repopulating, the dupes will be able to go up here and go into one of the floors where one of these critter drops will work. And we're having a spot here where an acorn can go. That ever get moved down here? Go find that. Oh, that didn't work. Just bring in more natural tiles. And struggled on that first one, but just redoing it. It worked the second time. Hopefully these will all work out. And I am ready to start to produce my steel down here with a cooling system. Let's do that. Let's make some iron too. Got some lights, auto sweeper that can pick up some stuff from here. So petroleum being loaded in. Let's go up here for a minute. That all looks good. Take that out. And we're having hotter petroleum go out. That's going to be heating up this little area, which will eventually create steam. And these guys can keep us cool. Now, the only thing that's going to happen is these steam turbines are going to get too hot, but I don't know if I've got enough metal. Or, yeah, I do. Oh, shoot. Actually, if I had some piping, I'd probably want to move that over by one, but that's okay. We got lots of room. So our thermo aqua tuner, the pipe going in and out, heavy wire going to meet that guy. A little bit of automation to control what temperature this line will be. So now I've got the whole plan for my cooling line to go through. All I have to do is just bring in the liquid. That should start to make sure our steam turbines don't get too hot. They're okay right now though. So both steel and plastic being sent to the other world. Oh, hold on, let's just empty that out. For a little bit of construction. So we're going to get in the ceramic business, at least just a little bit of ceramic. So here is what I'm thinking, an oil well, and I don't think there's a problem with it being over 100 degrees other than the water pipe. That's what the ceramic's about. Bring that over soon. But I'm going to make sure that I don't have water not moving. So we'll turn this guy on and off based on putting liquid in. Oh, pressure. Yeah, well, I guess we need to make the steam pressure low enough so that this can operate. I guess that's the only thing that you might need to watch for. Okay, seeing a little bit of polluted water here. That's unfortunate. Can that be mopped up, or is that, okay, it's beyond that. That's happened because this never got set to anything good. Maybe make that 25. That would make a lot more sense. No, that's not the problem. That's not the problem at all. We're just directly putting polluted water, making a mess in here. Oh, goodness. But this did need to be set, so there's that. I don't see any polluted oxygen. It's petroleum over here. Yeah. Let's just mop that up just because. We do have a little bit of water on top of this for the moment. That's actually really good. Though I think we're overpressured where the polluted water will be an issue. So two different blast shot makers going in over here. So yeah, we've got to get this area of vacuum if we want to get heavy wire brought into here. And over in this asteroid, just putting in our petroleum insulated line and automated lights for these machines. So yeah, just noting, maybe we'll make 2 tidying boosters so we can get some dupes that can actually use these. Okay, so Pete and our refined metal. Oh, I guess we need this guy to have some power if we want to be able to load that. Let's see, has petroleum made it? And it has not. Oh, right, I cut that. I should reestablish that. But we will need more crude oil. That's what we're working on over on this asteroid. And I think all I need to do is tell the dupes start cranking out some nickel over here. And Beaker is running the first production for blast shots. Yeah, making sure that's the intercosmic blast shot edition. So I think Beaker could benefit from some extra. Okay, we don't have enough right now, but any of the operating based boosters, because they're quite slow. So there is a pump with vacuum. We'll make another vacuum here. Just see if we have our first pieces of ceramic. Excellent. So now we've got our water pipe and a return crude line going up here. Make sure that pump doesn't run unless it has enough liquid. So getting rid of that oxygen line, that will become a hydrogen line. And just make sure before we go too far with that, I don't want to vent that out in here. Rip that down. And we should be consuming hydrogen in the base at priority. This type of thing. And water has reached our oil well. So crude oil production now going on. Excellent. So yeah, just connecting with some polluted water that's going to go over in here. Let's check to see if that petroleum... Oh no, it did not, because we need to do this. That's an important little thing to complete. And now we have hydrogen. Oh, a little bit of oxygen was front. Let's take care of that. Excellent. So now our cooling line is operating. Oh, whoa. Maybe that doesn't have to be as strong. And I see that we've got some upgrade, or at least one of those with tune-up anyway. So now that we got the pug slugs there, we'll put in a spot for them. Take advantage of their power production at night. So it was getting a little bit of water out of the system. This guy's now overpressured. So no heat's being added. So that's not actually going to turn to steam like I was kind of thinking. But the thought is, let's, for now, filter. This won't have to be here forever, I don't think. We'll do this until this can create enough effect. I'm almost wondering if we should actually hold water out. Might do that, actually. So yeah, just realizing I need a liquid airlock so the dupes can get into this zone. So pump going in here so I could have some crude oil here. Just regular water on this side. And now opening this up, we have steam in this area. And now a dupe can operate the oil well, which I completely... natural gas. Okay, is the steam gonna go above or below the natural gas? That's the question. And complete rip down needed. Alright, new cooling system. Okay, now we create a vacuum both here and here. Just need some power. Okay, so a little bit of a refactor there, but we've got our cooling line spinning through. Radiant pipes, try to keep this guy nice and cool while crude oil is going out. So collecting a bunch of crude oil here. I think I have that disabled. Let's enable this once again. And collecting some almost crude oil from here. Let's just have that go there to there. And that will be our material. That needs to go into our blast shot makers, finally. Well, I think that will do for today. We have had to completely redo this because my thinking was I was going to save power by not needing thermo aqua tuner putting into the zone, completely forgetting that dupes have to go in here, and actually that would have been fine with the liquid airlock, but this thing produces natural gas. I wonder if there was a design that would have worked, but you know what? I probably should just went with this this design. So I think that'll work because I've kind of done this that typical plan before. But that's our crude oil. We'll see if we can get enough next time. Next time, by the way, goal is to get down Demolier, hopefully close to our asteroid. And then we're starting with some cooling with this hydrogen vent. Probably do the same thing down here. And then once Demolier is down, the focus then becomes getting a very large number of bionic dupes, which means we need to produce a very large number of power. Anyway, that's going to be another time thing. For now, we'll just continue focusing on Demolier. Thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully see you another time. By the way, I'm streaming on Twitch, Oxygen, and highlight videos are going on YouTube, Oxygen either place. See you next time.